Oh my gosh.
What is this?
I just Googled U.S. debt clock, and I have no clue if this is legit, but is that 34 trillion? It's like an active count U.S. federal tax revenue.
I'm grieving the fact that this website even exists.
But look at that. Debt per citizen is 103,000.
Where's it at? Where are you pointing?
Right there.
Oh, like center left?
Yeah.
Wow.
Debt per taxpayer is 266,952.
So this is pointing out clearly that we have more citizens than we have taxpayers.
Well, yeah, because kids. They're not taxpayers.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
Or, someone who's not working at the moment or retired.
That's actually worse though. Cause they're saying that like per citizen. So like there's like 5-year-old children running around that owe $103,000.
Maybe that's why they're letting all the illegal immigrants in. They're trying to average out that number a little bit better. Mm-hmm. My whole point is like, I don't know how we fix this.
It's interesting. They show the revenue too. So go back up to the green. So
federal tax revenue.
So our federal tax revenue is $4.8 trillion.
But look at that, per citizen is 14,415.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So our tax revenue, we're at an immense deficit. Our tax revenue is 4.8 trillion. The national debt is 34.7 trillion, 34.8 trillion. That's a problem.
So we're spending 6 trillion a year on U.S. federal spending official. Then the next one right over here says U.S. federal budget deficit official. If this is at all true, why are we allowed to operate at all in the negative?
You wouldn't be allowed to do that. I wouldn't be allowed to do that.
No.
In our personal financial life.
This is worse than credit card debt. I don't know why we're sending so much money everywhere else. And I know a lot of people complain about the defense budget, but and we need to work on that because they always fail their audits. But
it's lower than the other ones. I mean, it's low. I think that's partly what they're comparing there. If you look at like Social Security or Medicare, that's crazy.
I'm very disappointed in our leaders. I'm talking both sides of the aisle. Each side just prints. Each side just gives. Each side just looks out for their own interest. And our government is too damn big, especially our federal government.
Yeah. What's crazy though, pull those numbers back one more time.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of having this realization. So if our revenue is okay, we'll call it almost 5 trillion. And the national debt is
34 trillion?
We'll call it almost 35 trillion. So we'll just round up in both cases. So we're making our revenue is 5 trillion. Is that per year, I assume? I assume that's annual revenue, right?
U.S. federal tax revenue. It's got to be annually, yes.
Right?
Yeah, I would assume, right?
So if we stopped spending money today, if our entire government shut down and there was no more defense spending, there was no more Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid costs, no more interest, all of that stuff. If our government stopped spending anything, it would still take us with revenue of about 5 trillion a year. It would take us 6 years to get caught up and get back in the black.
Wow.
To essentially to pay off our national debt. It would be 6 years of no government operating at all. No government expenses, no defense, no military, anything.
Wow.
If these numbers are correct and if we're reading them right. But I mean, that's wild. That's a problem.
Wild. What sucks is there's nothing that I can do about this. I can only try to focus on myself, my family, get as financially independent of this system as possible. But
make that money,
and don't let inflation take it away or shrinkflation.
And be careful when you're buying your shrink wrapped meat.
That frustrated the heck out of me. But yeah, that's it. That was just more of a rant on a podcast instead of information. But
we're just depressing everyone.
I know. I'm going to go back to this comment right here where she says, this is so depressing.
The moral of the story.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for watching this clip. If you want to see the full podcast, be sure to click on the link in the description. And if you feel like it, hit subscribe.